Hi, I'm Linz. Welcome to Becoming Everwell, a channel where we talk about the ongoing journey of becoming. Today's story is about a buzz cut. I make sense of life by writing about real everyday stuff that makes us who we are. Some of these snapshots are fun, some are more serious. Maybe they'll open up something in you too. Let's grow. Good hair runs in my family. Well, not for my sweet dad, who's had a receding hairline since toddlerhood. But my kids have 3 grandparents and 2 parents with great hair, so good odds. And one of my sons proclaimed a few months back that he wanted a buzz cut. I was conflicted. I believed since my youth that hair is the ideal canvas to experiment with personal expression. My mom nearly cried when I suggested I get a perm. Alas, no perm for me. With a tween grudge, I resolved that I'd be a mom who said yes to purple highlights, body waves, and buzz cuts. Because, as we know, hair grows back. But here I am with my child, who's thriving as a new middle schooler. Despite all my fears about the dreaded middle school transition, he's happy and confident, grades are good, and friendships are growing. And now he wants to initiate dramatic change by shaving his coiffed mop of hair that I adore. A benefit of being middle-aged is that I've experienced the effects of sudden change. On small scales, like a sudden loss of privacy with a neighbor's unexpected removal of trees, and on large scales, like a sudden loss of confidence with a public humiliation. I know change. It can be intense. And as a mom, I've experienced the emotional derailment of a child's half-baked hair decision when my then 6-year-old daughter skeptically agreed to donate her hair at the hairdresser's encouragement. When handed her dismembered ponytail, my daughter received it in silent horror. At 13, this ordeal still triggers her. I'll be clear, I am not anti-buzz cut. I'm simply pro-thoughtful decisions. So I validated my son's buzz cut idea and suggested that he consider the idea daily for about 2 weeks before making a decision. If the desire grew stronger, we'd go for it. He liked that plan. Naturally, he remained on Team Buzz Cut and we booked an appointment. I suggested a few times that an in-between cut might be a great idea. With conviction, he disliked my idea. En route to the barber shop, in a last-ditch effort to persuade him to go part way before going all the way, we called Dad. I assume he'd help me convince our son to take baby step approach with his hair. But to my surprise, my husband warmly encouraged him to go for the buzz cut. I resisted, but my inner tween was all, be the parent you wanted to be, support this healthy act of experimentation. So, reluctantly, and with fake enthusiasm, I boarded the buzz cut express. Really? He asked in giddy disbelief from the back seat once he'd won us both over. Yes, really. At the barber shop, the barber swiftly complied with his wish and took his clippers for a dramatic ride up the side of my little guy's scalp. My son sat there, eyes closed, stoic, and smiling as the buzzer's rhythm ate away at his hair, locks falling into his shoulders and lap. When the buzzing stopped and he focused on his reflection, my son seemed delighted and stunned. He rubbed his head much of the car ride home and said a few times that he loved it. And even though I wasn't sure I believed him, I was proud of his courage. After school the next day, he cracked. Turns out, he hated it. Total regret. We Googled fast hair growth after buzz cut. We pulled out all his hats. He didn't like the big freckle he didn't know he had on the side of his head. He didn't like seeing the long forgotten scar on his forehead from a big fall when he was 2. He didn't like that other kids wanted to touch his head. He didn't like having so much attention on his physical appearance. He was devastated and mad at himself. He told me that he knew it was a mistake just before the buzzer turned on. He regretted emphatically that although he'd had the ability to change the plan, he didn't speak up. Today, we're more than 8 weeks out from the buzz cut, and he likes his look. Who knows what his preferred length will be when he has some choice again. But let's be honest, this whole rocky transition thing is so relatable. Transitions run the gamut from being invited to uninvited, predictable to unpredictable, wanted to unwanted. And chances are you're in the midst or on the brink of a transition yourself. Some valuable transition takeaways for you from this. 1, sometimes we need to simply experience something firsthand to actually know what we want. 2, the perspectives of others who truly have your best interest in mind are valuable. 3, sometimes it's enough to just know that you have permission. 4, bold decisions typically work out more effectively when some smaller build-up decisions are made en route to the big desired change. And finally, 5, we are always entitled to change our minds. If you've got a transition coming up or you're thinking about change in your life, I hope you'll check out my offerings, because I do offer a lot of things for people who are looking to figure out what's next and change things up. Go to lindsayhurdy.com to see it all. And please like and subscribe this if you're into what I'm doing, and it will enable me to keep on doing it. I so appreciate you and your time. Until next week. Be sure to like and subscribe and click that bell to get alerts for new posts. I'd be ever grateful.